thank you so much for joining me for this full-length Pilates mat class. If you are premenopausal or currently going through menopause, this class is for you. Pilates can be beneficial for premenopausal and menopausal women in many ways. It helps to lengthen and strengthen. It's good for tone and endurance, and it can help everyone feel just a little bit better about their bodies, where they are today, by honoring what their bodies are able to do in the moment. So anyways, just in case you want a little extra during the leg work, I have some leg weights here, some ankle weights. You are welcome to get some. You do not need them at all. They are completely optional. But let's go ahead and begin on our backs. I have my knees bent. I'm going to try to find a nice neutral spine here to begin. I'm going to place my hands into a diamond, and I'm going to place them on my, from hip bone to hip bone, with my fingertips near my pelvis. My thumb's going to be pointed up towards my belly button. Take a couple nice, easy breaths. My feet are in an easy bent leg position at this point. I don't really have any hip flexors gripping. It's not really hard to maintain my neutral spine. It's more of an assist. I'm going to find a nice flat sacrum. The tailbone to the back hip bone should be flat on the mat, like a little table. I have a slight lift above the back and top of my hip to my 12th rib on the mat. My 12 ribs are sinking into the mat. My shoulder blades are flat and wide. I feel a nice openness in my collarbone, a softness in my sternum. But if my ribs are flaring, to melt my back ribs into the mat, I'm going to pull them together and sink my belly button down to my spine. Got to have a nice long neck. I'm going to go ahead and shake it out from side to side. We do not want to use our feet on this, but we do want to sink our belly button to our spine and use our abdominals to press our spine down into the mat in a slight tuck position. The tailbone will not lift off the mat. I'm going to come back to that neutral spine, and I'm going to tilt my pelvis back slightly. Where I lift off, there will be a slight arch in your back, and I'm going to bring my tailbone towards the back of my head more. You might be able to see it on my mat. I'm going to come back to neutral and imprint my spine by dropping my belly button to my spine, using my abdominals, hollowing out from hip to hip. My spine, think of it, your spine as a strand of pearls. Each vertebra is a strand of pearls. Each one is laying flat on the mat right now. I'm going to come back to neutral, tilt my tailbone back, slight arch. I'm not going to allow my ribs to flare. We're going to keep them together nicely, neutral. And then I'm going to tuck. And neutral. And tilt. See if you can find a nice, easy breath pattern of whatever makes you most comfortable. I'm keeping my hands up here so that you guys can see my tilt and my tuck going on. But feel free to place your hands flat on your side. Place your hands on your hip flexors to make sure they're not doing too much work. They shouldn't be doing much at all. You'll get some tightness from them in various places, but they shouldn't be taking over the movement. One more. We'll tuck here, and neutral, and tilt, and neutral. Good. I'm going to walk my feet away just a little bit. So it should be a little bit easier. My hip flexors will be a little bit looser at this point. I'm going to bring my left leg up towards the ceiling, like it is a post, sticking straight up into the ceiling. So perpendicular leg to your ceiling and your floor. I'm going to lower my leg without shifting anything in my body. So go ahead and take your fingers, put your thumbs on the bottom of your ribs, and your pointer finger and your middle finger on your hips. Make sure that you're not shifting. I'm going to drop it down, so I'm thigh to thigh, knee to knee, draw it into a tabletop position, and lift. Again, my goal is not to shift anything in my body. Lower thigh to thigh, knee to knee, and pull it in, and lift. Good. You'll probably feel your obliques on your opposite side doing a little bit more work as you lower your leg, and then I feel my obliques on the same side doing more work as I draw my leg into tabletop. We're going to go ahead and reverse this water wheel type position. I'm going to now extend my left leg to where I'm thigh to thigh, knee to knee, pull my leg up with control. I'm not using momentum to swing my leg up, and then while my leg is straight up to the ceiling, all I have to do is bend my knee to bring my leg to tabletop, and extend thigh to thigh, lift up to the post in the ceiling, and bend. We have two more. Once you feel like your body's no longer shifting, go ahead and release your hands to either side of the mat. really flatten your shoulder blades. Think of pulling them apart. One more. Now, place that foot on the mat, and your right leg will come up to tabletop. Extend it up towards the ceiling. Again, the post coming straight up to the ceiling, straight out of the ground. We're going to lower thigh to thigh, knee to knee, pull it into tabletop. Again, you can take your thumb and your pointer finger, your middle finger, place it on the bottom of your ribs and your hip bones, and make sure nothing's shifting. One leg will always be more stable through your body than the other one. For me, my right leg's much more stable than my left. One more in this direction. Pull it to tabletop, and now reverse the water wheel. Extend it thigh to thigh, knee to knee. Float it up to the ceiling, just if you have a balloon on the top of your toe, floating your leg up. Now just bend at the knee for tabletop and extend. And lift and bend and extend and lift. One more. Now place that foot flat on the mat. We're going to walk our feet out just an inch more. It'll be a little bit harder to maintain a neutral spine here, but we're going to do some curls with our feet flat on the mat first, and we don't want to crunch into our hip flexors too much when we do it. I'm going to take my fingertips, place them on my sternum and 12th rib, and then, or bra strap, and then extend them straight up to the ceiling. They're a little bit below my shoulder, so I don't want to be up here crunching into my neck. I want to be just a little bit below. They're not down here, they're right here, okay? I'm squeezing my legs together, wrapping my glutes from the outside back, dropping my belly button to the spine, still maintaining a neutral spine. I'm going to inhale, exhale, begin to nod my head up. I have a nice continuous curve from the tip top of my head up through my tailbone, and I'm going to exhale, lower, and inhale, exhale to lift, inhale at the top, and exhale to lower. One more 4 count curl up, and then we're going to go to 2 count, and we're going to add on. If you want to just do the 2 count curl up and not add the leg on, you don't have to, but we are going to be adding some legs on next. So inhale and exhale to curl up, inhale at the top, exhale down. Now we're going to march our legs. So just like we were talking about before, don't let anything shift in your body like we were doing on the water wheel. We're going to inhale to curl up. When we curl up, we're going to lift our left leg up to tabletop. And exhale, and inhale to lower, and exhale to lift, right leg comes up. And exhale to lower. Try not to allow your hips to shift. Go ahead and take a look at them. And right leg. Drawing your ribs to your hips as you curl up and reaching your fingertips long towards the end of the mat. And right leg. And now stay up in your curl. Bring your left leg up. Now, if you have hip problems, please stay at a 90 degree for this exercise. If you do not, you can draw your leg in further. I'm going to extend my left leg, draw my right leg into my chest. My left hand is going to come to the inside of my right knee. My right hand is going to come to the outside of my right ankle. I'm going to inhale through the center and exhale to switch. My left knee will draw into my chest as my right leg extends. My right hand will be on the inside of my left knee. My left hand will be on the outside of my left ankle. Now inhale and exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. Curl up a little deeper. My legs are touching the whole time. My toes are touching my knee right now. My legs are sliding against each other. Toe touches knee, legs slide. I'm really working my inner thighs here. One more on each side. Now draw everything in together. Again, stay at tabletop. If you need to, don't tuck your tail to come here. If you need to rest your head, neck, and shoulders, please do so. We're going to do the double leg stretch. We're going to inhale, extend our arms and legs. Exhale our arms to a T. And on the second half of the exhale, we're going to draw our knees in. And inhale, reach. And exhale. And inhale. We're halfway there. Here's 5. One more. Give your knees a hug. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Shake out your neck real fast. We have one more single leg stretch to do, or double leg stretch. It's going to be just the first half though. It's going to take us right into the hundreds, and then we're going to go into roll-ups and some single leg circles. So, reaching my hands by my legs, not holding on because I don't want to yank myself up. I'm going to inhale, exhale to curl up. Flip your palms down, reach for the end of the mat. See if you can deepen your curl up just a little bit. Extend your legs to working level. Rotate the femur of the hip socket, turn it out to Pilates feet, and begin pumping. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really squeeze under your arms. Reach your chest. Imagine you have an apple or an orange, or I once heard a teacher say, imagine you have an egg under there. If you crunch your chin to your chest, you'll get yolk all down your shirt. If you go up too far, your egg will roll away and break as well. Inhale. Squeeze your inner thighs. Make sure that your sacrum is flat. If it's not, lift your legs up a little higher so that you don't hurt your low back by arching. 2 more. Final set. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you can with straight legs, float your legs down to the mat, and your fingertips will come straight up to the ceiling. I'm going to scooch back just a scotch on my elevated mat so I don't have to switch around wonky while I'm doing roll-up. My arms are up here. I'm crunching down to my shoulders, so I'm going to squeeze under my arms, lengthening my neck, pulling my shoulders away from my ears. I'm going to squeeze from under the arm all the way down the rib. Wrap my rib. Try to find a nice neutral spine. I'm going to stretch my legs long, shooting energy out of my toes. Inhale, I'm going to begin to curl up, reach my hands long, don't swing them. I'm going to roll vertebra by vertebra, maintaining a C-shaped curve the entire time. My hands are going to float over the top of an imaginary countertop. I'm trying to reach my ears between my biceps. I'm going to inhale back. When my arms begin to come off the table, they're not going to extend past my 12th rib sternum area, broad arc area. Good. Now we're going to inhale to begin the roll up. Shoot energy long out of your legs. Don't let your hip flexors take over. Exhale when you begin to come up over your sacrum. Inhale to roll back. When you find a flat sacrum, go ahead and exhale down. Good. Inhale. If you need to a little help, try to walk your fingertips along the outside of your thigh. We don't want to do it too much. We don't want to depend on it, but it can give us some nice assistance and make us feel a little bit more grounded. Good. I've heard it called closing the circuit. When you do that, it's easier to find that connection there between your rib and your hip. Pull down on your belly button to your spine and really find the rest of that articulation on the way out. Let's do one more. Find a nice roundness here. Lift up on the ribs right here as if you're rounding over a barrel. We're going to be using this again and again and again. So we're going to roll back. Now, flatten your hands down by your side. Adjust as you need to on your mat from roll up scoochie. Inhale, exhale. Hold your hands in your lower abs as you float your left leg up. Good. We want to really shoot energy out of that right leg. We're going to do small single leg circles, about the size of a squishy ball. Not a huge exercise ball, a tiny little ball. We're going to inhale our leg across and exhale back up. Go ahead and place your fingertips, your pointer and your middle finger on your hip bones, and try to make sure that you're not swinging your leg out, you're not shortening in your body, and you're not using momentum. Nice flat wide shoulder blades. And now we're going to reverse. If you're feeling this in your low back, you're arching. Odds are you're extending your leg too close to the ground when your circle goes down away from you. So try to make the circle a little smaller. Here's 5 and 6. Now, make your right leg light. Inhale, exhale to curl up. We're going to do scissors. Hold on anywhere in your calf, anywhere in your thigh, not behind your knee because it'll cause bending, but we're going to pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull. When I pull, I'm squeezing under my arms. I'm not using my neck, so I'm pull, pull. You can do it from the thigh as well. Pull, pull. It's almost easier to find the squeeze under the knee on the thigh. Look, my leg's not coming any closer to me, any higher I walk my hand up. It's great, but I'm still able to pull my leg the same amount. One more on each side so let's count, and this feels kind of nice. So leave your left leg up, or your right leg up, rest your left leg down, rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Shoot energy out of that leg. Go and place your Pointer finger and your middle finger on your hip bones to make sure they're not shifting. Tiny circles, guys. Inhale. And exhale as your leg goes away from you. Inhale across the body and exhale it up. Inhale, and as you exhale away, think of anchoring yourself through your opposite side obliques. Nice long neck, give it a shake if you need to. And now we'll reverse. So now anchor with the opposite side obliques and squeeze through your inner thigh to pull across the midline. And opposite side obliques and inner thigh. You shouldn't feel your body going like this. If you are, you're tucking to do the movement. No tucking. No mother tuckers around here, okay? Good. Leg up. Now, carefully float the other leg up. Both legs are going out to the ceiling. I'm going to place my head behind my hands. My head's still flat on the mat. My fingers are interlaced at the base of my skull. My thumbs are long down my neck. I'm going to inhale, exhale to curl up. Now, we're going to do the double leg lower lifts. I'm going to lower for 1 count, lower for 2 count, lower for 3 count. If you feel it in your low back, you've gone too far, and your abs cannot support the load of your legs. Now exhale, so your lower belly sink, and lift. And drop 1, 2, 3. Now, take a look at your feet. Are you working in parallel or turn out? I don't care which one it is, but switch it. I was working in parallel, now I'm going to work in turn out. If you were working in turn out first, now work in parallel, we're going to lower 1, 2, 3, curl up deeper, lift, and drop 1, 2, 3. Final one, 1, 2, 3. Now, hold on gently behind your knees. My legs are more in a tabletop position. I'm going to curl up and allow the load of my legs to float me up. I'm not going to swing myself up to sitting up tall, right? All right. Remember earlier how we were talking to roll up? I'm going to ask you to lift up from the ribs right here. Really reach over a barrel. We're about to do the 2 exercises that I was talking about for that. It's spine stretch and saw. Even though saw has rotation, it still has the same reach over the barrel feeling to it. I'm going to extend my legs, hip width or a little bit wider. Odds are they should not be extended the width of your mat. I'm going to reach my hands in front of me. Again, they're coming out of my sternum 12 rib. That's so I can maintain that connection underneath my arms and keep a nice long neck so that I'm not putting too much strain on my neck muscles. I'm going to sit up tall. If you have super tight hamstrings, go ahead and slightly bend your knees so you can sit up a little bit taller, right? Otherwise, extend your feet in front of you, flex your feet so you're pulling your toes back, your big toe back to your knees, palms flip towards each other, squeeze under the arms. Now, imagine there's a wall behind you and you're doing a curl up. You're going to crease at those ribs right here for the curl up, right? And now inhale to reach up and over the barrel a little deeper. On the inhale, you're going to pull back to the wall, and on the exhale, you're going to sit up tall. Now inhale, curl up from the wall. Exhale, reach further over the legs, drop your shoulders down. Inhale to pull back, exhale up tall. Now inhale, exhale. Inhale to pull back, exhale up. We have 3 more. Now on this next one, really think of pulling up, up, up from these little rib points and extend over now. Pull up, 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 drawing your belly to your spine, squeezing under the arms, pull back and lift. Final one. Think of getting rid of all the stale air in your lungs. Now don't lose your legs. Bring your arms out to a T. Give me a little bit more weight in your pinky blade edge, but don't flip to your pinky blade edge. Just put a little bit more weight there so you really feel it squeeze under your arms. Now we're going to inhale and exhale, rotate to the left. Flip your left palm up or your back palm up and dive down and try to reach to saw off your baby toe with your pinky finger. Now articulate up, flip your palm back down, come through center, exhale the opposite way. Flip the back palm up, dive down, up and over the barrel, saw off that baby toe. Articulate up, flip the palm, back through center, and rotate. Dive, up, through center, bones shift. The rotation is all coming from above the belly button. In a little bit, we'll do a rotation from below the belly button, but for right now, it's above. Give your legs a nice little shake out. We're going to go ahead and do some back extension work. We're flipping around quite a bit today. We're going to do quite a bit of wrist work at the end. So I'm going to be flipping onto our back quite a bit so that we can relieve our wrists and not put too much strain on those. But I'm going to take off my glasses because we're going to be doing some swan chest expansion work. My biceps are squeezed into my ribs. My elbows are pointed towards my hips. My palms are underneath my shoulders. I'm squeezing under my arms. I'm wrapping my ribs together on the front, drawing them together just like a neutral spine when we were on our backs in the beginning class. Drawing my belly button up towards my spine. Think of when we imprinted our spine. It should be the same sort of feeling, but on your stomach. I'm squeezing my glutes and my inner thighs. If you feel any pain in your low back, the first thing that you need to do is draw your belly button to your spine. If you're still feeling pain after that, squeeze your inner thighs together more strongly. If you still feel pain, you can try going lower in your lift, up for your swan, for your back extension. If that does not work, please find your favorite stretch. So on the inhale, we're going to begin to articulate up, pressing into the pinky blade edge of our hands more to bring our shoulders away from our ears. Squeeze down on your shoulders. You don't want them to pop up. And exhale to articulate back down vertebra by vertebra. Imagine that the tip top of your head is the first vertebra. You're going to press up. Squeeze those inner thighs. Draw the belly up and in. Wrap the ribs. We're going to go to 5. So here's 3. Really squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs. And lift. And exhale down. Let's do one more. Good job, guys. Don't crank your neck up to the ceiling. You want a nice continuous arc from the tip top of your head out through your tail. Now, we're going to take our hands and slide them forward and come up onto our forearms. Our shoulders will be directly over our elbows. Now, is it easy to sink down here? Yeah, but we want to lift up. We want to draw our belly up and in, squeeze our glutes, squeeze our inner thighs, wrap our ribs. So we're still getting a nice back extension, but it's supported. It should be quite a bit of work. From there, we're going to make our right leg light. Flex, pulse it to our glutes. Point, pulse it to our glutes. Extend our leg back down, rest it on the mat. Left leg's light. Flex, pulse. Point, pulse, extend, release. Belly button's up and in. Other leg, and other leg, flex, point, release. If you're rocking like this on the mat, you're not using your glutes enough. You're swinging your leg. So this is very much a glute move. Let's do one more on each side. Next we have swimming. We're going to extend our legs, come down onto our stomach so that our arms extended long. Glasses are in the way, sorry guys. All right, squeeze under the arms. Draw your ribs together, belly button up and in. Float your right arm up and squeeze your left glutes to lift that left leg up. Your hips should not be rocking from side to side to do this. Now float your left arm up, squeeze your glutes to get your right leg up. Right arm, left leg. Left arm, right leg. Now keep that there. Float the other ones up. Lift your head up so that your biceps are between your ears. Draw your belly button up and down. Wrap your ribs and begin swimming. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be no rocking. If there is, stop the movements and make them smaller. 2 more breaths. Belly button up and in. Wrap your ribs. Now stop there. Stretch out longer through your fingers and toes and relax everything down. Press back into a child's pose for a moment. Knees separated, glutes will rest on your heels. If you want, you can take your right hand underneath, thread the needle, bringing that right hand underneath the left arm, trying to drop that right shoulder to the mat to look out into that left arm.
Bring the arm back through center. And then thread the left arm underneath the right arm. Try to drop that shoulder to the mat. Looking out under your arm. Come back through center. Begin to walk yourself back slowly, or take the lean up to sitting up tall. Now, we're going to start with our leg portion of the class. So, this is a leg portion, but Pilates is a full body workout. There's going to be a lot of core involved in this. I'm going to go ahead and use my ankle weights. So, if you'd like to go ahead and put your ankle weights on at this time, please go ahead and do so. And then we will go ahead and begin with sideline legs. I'm going to start on my left side first, because that's sort of the side I was leaning towards. You can start on either side. We're going to do left sideline legs. We're going to do a left side bird dog. We're going to do right sideline legs, and then right side bird dog quadruped work. So I'm going to make my arm into a pillow. When you do that, it is easier to find a neutral spine on the side. So you're not sinking down into the side closest to the mat. You want to have a slight lift from your ribs to your hips. Imagine that you're squeezing your obliques there so that little trail of ants can go underneath. I'm going to tie my shirt so that you can maybe see that, maybe not. So I have my ribs down, my hips down. I can get a little something right there. I'm going to flex my feet. I'm going to walk them forward an inch or two, which I don't normally do, but with the weights, it's going to create more weight and cause some rocking. And if you have low back problems, this will exacerbate them. Bring your head up. You don't want to crunch it forward looking down. You want to line up your back with the back edge of your mat. Now, press energy out of your top heel. Feet are flexed. Hover that foot up to hip height. Bring the foot forward to a 90-degree angle from your body to your thigh to your calf, and then press it back to standing with a flexed foot. Draw it in and press from the glute. You can place 2 fingers right here where your glute and thigh meet. We really want to press from there. Abs are up and in. We're wrapping our ribs. Nice long neck. My hand's down, but I'm not leaning into it. I just have a couple fingertips down, so I'm really challenging my body in this. Oftentimes in Pilates, it's the body part that's not moving that is working the hardest. Make no mistake. We're working our legs here, but it is challenging our body to move the load. Point your foot, bring it forward, flex your foot, squeeze it back, use your glutes to pull the foot back slightly an inch or 2 behind the line of your body. Point your foot to float it forward and flex to pull it back. Don't allow your hips to shift or your ribs to pop out or in on this. It's easy to do, especially with the ankle weights. Here's 8. Here's 9. Abs up and in. It'll really help you here, right? And 10. Now point your foot, stack your legs on top of each other. We're going to do 10 small circles in each direction in parallel. And then we're going to switch to work in our turnout. So we're going to 1, 2, 3. Try to let them come from the glute and the outer hip area. Try not to let your body move. And reverse. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now turn both feet out to Pilates V. Don't allow yourself to rock back, opening up your hips to the ceiling. It'll put too much load on your low back. In your sacrum area, make sure you still have that slight lift between your hip and your lower ribs. Now, we're going to float our leg up, flex our foot, bring it in to, consider it a half frog. Now, if you look down at your leg and your knees down and your heels up, that's not correct. You want to line up your big toe with your knee in the turnout. So press it out and pull it back for 10. Here's 9. The worst part, guys, is going to be the second side because you've already worked this side, right? And we have the weight on, so it's going to be even harder. My outer hip is already screaming at me. Probably don't do as much of these as I should. All right, we're going to float our foot out and lower it down. Now, we're going to point to bring our leg up and flex to lower. And point to lift. After 5, we're going to reverse the foot. So here's 3,
Here's 4. Here's 5. Leave your foot flexed. We're gonna float it out, flex and point to lower it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Leave your foot, float your foot up to hip height and leave it there. We're gonna do 10 medium circles in each direction. Really rotating so you can see the inside of your heel in front of you. If you have a mirror in front of you, go ahead and take a look. But these are gonna be about the size of a bender ball or a squishy ball, just like in the single leg circle. 8, 9, 10, and let's reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you can, reach back for the top of your ankle and give your quad a little stretch. Squeeze your glutes, try to tuck your hips forward slightly to release that little thigh muscle just a little bit on the front. Whew, good. We're going to come onto our stomachs, or onto our quadruped position, our hands and knees. If you cannot achieve the quadruped position because you have weak wrists, you can use weights. When you do that, make sure that you're pressing down on your waist so you're not breaking your wrists, or try to put more weight in your pads of your fingers rather than placing all the weight in the bend of your wrist. We're going to go ahead and make sure that our shoulders are stacked over our wrists, our hips are stacked over our knees. If you're like this, no ma'am, no sir. Draw your belly up and in, wrap your ribs. Think of tucking your tail just a scotch so that you can really maintain that neutral spine here, just like if you were on your back in the curl up position. So we're going to inhale, exhale, tuck our tail, lift up into a cat. We're going to do 3 cat-cows again. Then we're going to do 3 knee hover and holds. Then we're going to do some bird dog work. Then we're going to go to the other side. So lots of wrist work, lots of flipping around. Now, tuck your toes. Tuck your tail ever so slightly. Inhale, exhale, hover your knees. Or stay in here. And now release and lift. Now squeeze under your arms, lengthen out your neck. Try to create a straight line from your tip top of your head up through your tailbone. Ooh, my bracelet's right under my wrist. That did not feel good. And lift. Final one. And lower. Now, same leg that you just did. Sideline legs up. Flap your feet on the mat. Extend that foot back, making sure that your hips are square. Whenever I do my left leg, my hip always splays. It's like, but my right leg's usually pretty square. But you can use this exercise to help make sure that your hips are nice and square. Now, squeeze your glutes and use your hamstring to float your leg up and lower. Make sure that you're maintaining that slight little tuck of your tail the whole time. Otherwise, you're gonna be like a little seesaw, right? We don't want that. So if you're feeling this in your low back, you're using your back to lift your leg, not your glutes. Here's 9. Now on 10, stay up. And now pulse up, up, up. 4, 5, 6, square your hips. 9, 10, stop. Bring it out an inch and squeeze it back in with your inner thigh. We're not going to cross the midline. We're just going back to the original position. We have the weights, or we don't. Either way, this is a lot of leg work. Really think of pulling the mat apart so that you have nice, wide, flat shoulder blades. Draw your abs up and in. If you have a mirror, go ahead and make sure, uh-oh, my hips splayed. Make sure your hips aren't splaying. Now come here. Now 10 small circles in each direction. This is more hamstring than the glutes that were more sideline. Now, tap your toe, drop back in. We're gonna go to the other side. For me, that's lying on my right side. So we have this, and then we have some plank work, and then we have some knee push-ups, and then we have some nice stretches, guys. And then we're gonna be done with class, okay? So my ribs are sinking into the mat, my hips in the mat, but I'm lifting up by squeezing in on my obliques on that side closest to the mat, shooting energy up through my heel, extending out through that leg.
Now I'm going to draw my knee in. It's going to come to the front, so I have a 90-degree angle from my body to my thigh, from my thigh to my shin, and press it back with my glutes. And in, and press. Really depend on your abs here. My left side is substantially weaker than my right side. So you might find that you're doing better on this side. You might find that your right side was the better side. 2 more. Squeeze down underneath that arm on the top arm so that you're really drawing your shoulder away from your ears. Now point your foot, point it forward and flex to pull it back, using your glutes to pull it behind your body just an inch. And point and flex, no rib flare. Ooh, my hips are like, no, my glutes are mad. Here's 8. Woo. Here's 9. We're gonna get a nice IT band stretch at the end, so don't worry guys, okay? Now stack your legs, leave it floated up to hip height. Point that foot, 10 small circles in each direction, tiny, coming from the glutes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point both feet, turn it out to a nice Pilates V, float the foot up, bring it in to the half frog. If you sunk down in your waist, go ahead and lift it back up. Again, make sure that your big toes lined up with your knee and press it out and pull it back in. 10, 9, don't rock back into your low back. Here's 7, here's 6, here's 5, 4, ow, 3, this is where it starts to scream. Now, extend your leg and point your foot. Give it a little shake real fast if you need to, pound it out. All right, point it up and flex to lower. And lift and lower. Don't sink in your side to lift, using momentum. Here's 4. On 5, leave your foot flexed. Float it up, flex, point to lower it. Here's 5, 4. I got a little excited. 3, 2, 1. Leave your foot up at hip height. Really rotate the femur in the hip socket, tweezing the sits bones to turn the heel forward. 10 medium circles in one direction. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wrap the ribs. And now reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7. Abs up and in. Wrap the ribs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the leg. Oh, pound it out if you need to. Go ahead and reach back for that top of that ankle. Really, bring that heel to the glutes to try to stretch out the quads. Tucking the tail ever so slightly to really reach into that muscle. We have our other side bird dog, and then we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the ankle weights. Otherwise, we could pop too much into the hip flexors and quads. We don't want that, right? So, I'm going to come onto my hands and knees. I'm going to really squeeze down the shoulder blades to pull my shoulder blades down my back. Really pull my hands apart to flatten my shoulder blades. If I'm like this, I'm going to tuck my tail ever so slightly. Draw my abs up and in, wrap my ribs. I'm going to cat-cow for 3. We do have 3 more knee hover holds. Now come back to neutral. Tuck your toes. Tuck your tail slightly. Inhale, exhale. Hover your knees and hold. Just an inch, guys. The lower you can go, the better. But not touching the mat, right? Pull apart the mat and lower and lift. Abs up and in. Wrap the ribs. I'm shaking, I don't know about you. And tap and lift. Final one. Good. Lower your knees. Flatten your feet. Now, take that left foot back. If you have a mirror nearby, go ahead and take a look to make sure you're not splaying your hips. 1, and here's 2, and here's 3. And now we're gonna float the leg up by using the glutes. Go ahead and check on that. My hips laid ever so slightly when I lifted my legs. So I really have to watch that on this side. This is hard to hold because it is like a plank, right? You're just on your knees. Excellent endurance hold. Now keep it up at the top and pulse up. Glute pulse. Just like where it was coming for the tiny circles on the parallel sideline legs. Now, make sure your hips aren't splayed. Out an inch and use your inner thigh to squeeze it back. Press it away using your outer glutes and pull it back with your inner thighs right behind your body. Try not to let your upper body move. If you have a mirror in front of you, take a look and make sure nothing's shifting in that. Good. And here's 9. And here's 10. And now 10 small circles in each direction. 5. Really from the glutes. More hamstring here. And reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tap your toe down. Drag your foot back in. Go ahead and sit back. We're going to go ahead and take our ankle weights off. If I can find where my ankle weights hold. Good. We'll go ahead and put those to the side. We're not going to need them again during class today, but we are going to go into some bridging. We're going to be doing hinge bridging today as opposed to articulating bridge. Hinge bridge is when you squeeze everything on your backside and lift it up. Don't pop into your neck. Like you really want to platform across the shoulder blades. So articulate back. Walk your heels into your glutes. Heels should be no wider than your sits bones. So really use your inner thigh to squeeze them together. When we hinge bridge up, if you look down at your knees and they're floating apart, use your inner thighs to pull them back together. Platform your arms down by your side. Inhale, exhale, squeeze it up. Trying to press your knees over your toes here as you lift. And now we're going to lower back down all at the same time. And inhale, exhale to lift. Now from there, we're going to lift our heels up and lower them. And lift and lower. Knees will stay in the same position. So you have a nice inner thigh squeeze. Still squeeze your glutes as you do this. Your hips shouldn't drop as you lift and lower. Now 10, stay up there. Now drop your right heel and lift. Now just your left heel and lift. And right and left. We're trotting. If you've ever taken a reformer class with me, this is a version of trotting, right? One more. Lower both heels, hinge, bridge, lower. Final bridge. Inhale, exhale, lift. Draw your right leg up to tabletop. Extend up to the ceiling, just like the pose, just like the beginning. Now lower thigh to thigh, knee to knee, and lift. Lower thigh to thigh, knee to knee, and lift. Here's 3. We have 5. 4, squeeze the glutes. Now stay up at the top. Now bring it across an inch and away an inch. Really platform through the shoulder blades. 4 and 5. Come back to center. Now pulse it up like you're trying to poke a hole in the ceiling. 2, 3, 4, 5. Tabletop, lower. Tabletop your left leg. Woo! My glutes, right? And lower lift for 5. Really platforming through the shoulder blades. Squeezing on the glutes. Pressing that knee over the toe. 4. Wrap the ribs. Abs up and in. Now over the body, midline an inch, and away an inch. No shifting through the body. Stabilizing through the body, so nothing's moving. Should be very hard. This is our final one. Bring it up to the ceiling and pulse up your hips. 1, with your glutes. 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knee into tabletop. Rest your foot down. Hinge, bridge down. Give yourself a nice hug. Think of pulling your knees closer to your nose to release the low back. Not necessarily rocking, but really dropping the belly button to the spine. Squeeze under the arms and widen your shoulder blades so you're not getting into your neck, right? One more. Good. Place the feet down. We're going to do a figure 4 stretch. We're going to do it a little differently today. So we're not going to stretch the glutes in the back. We're going to really try to stay in the hips. I'm going to take my right shin above my ankle and place it on my left calf below the knee. Now from there, I'm gonna walk, I'm actually just gonna walk my heels in. Now from there, I'm gonna take a look up. My hips are shifting a little bit, so I'm gonna bring them square, and then I'm gonna press my thigh away, not on my knee. But I want my hips to stay equal. I don't want to drop one on either side. We're targeting a different area on the hip right now that we've worked, and that's why we're gonna do this. Now walk that standing platform left foot away, place the right foot down, bring the left leg up just like you did the right one. Walk your heel into to your glutes. Now go ahead and take a look. Are you, oh, yep, I'm shifting right here. So I'm gonna move right here, and then I'm gonna press my knee away. But while I press my knee away, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not shifting to my hips again. Like I'm not assisting my press by shifting to my hips to try to increase my stretch, which really isn't increasing my stretch at all. We just have to be nice and patient, which I know isn't something that we want to do, but we're gonna honor where our body is today and stretch from here. Might not be the stretch that we want, but it could be the stretch that our body needs. Good, go ahead and release that leg. Guys, from here, we're gonna move into planks. You can do any of these planks on your forearm. When you do the forearm planks in the center, you won't get as much movement in the knee bends or the pikes, but you have to do what's good for your wrists today. Again, you can do this with the weights holding on if you would prefer. We will be doing the oblique lower half body twist in a plank from side to side on our forearms. So, to get into the plank position, we are going to come onto our forearms in a quadruped position. Don't squat your low back, lift it up, tug it slightly, or on our hands. Again, try to put more weight in the pads of your fingers. Don't dump into your wrists. From there, I'm going to extend one leg back and then the other leg. And I should be in a pretty good plank, right? Don't sweat out your low back, you'll feel it. Tuck your tail slightly. Now we're gonna hold it here for just a couple counts. I like to do my plank in a little Pilates V position with my feet. My heels are together, my toes are apart. From there, I'm gonna leave my hands where they are. I'm gonna bend my knees, stay in a neutral spine position, and then pull it back or press it back to plank. Now bend and straighten. Here's 3. We're going to 6. Here's 4. Ooh, my toes are doing weird things. Here's 5. One more. Don't snap the low back. And now, we're gonna pike up at the hips. Trying to bring our biceps right ears, don't snap your ribs. And I'm gonna press it back down, squeezing our glutes down to plank. And lift, piking at the hips. And press it back down. I'm not dropping my heels down, guys. This is not a down dog. This is just a pike and a press back down. I'm still on my toes the whole time. Here's 5. And let's do one more. And now we're gonna hold it. We're gonna hold it again, guys. So really squeeze under the arms, really squeeze your inner thighs, really wrap your glutes. And now, come down onto your knees and press it back into child's pose. Articulate it up into sitting up tall. Take one hand with the palm down, press the hand down. And now, bring the palm up like you're saying, stop. Pull the fingers back. Now flip it down like you're saying, oh, I'll take that. I want your chocolate. But pull your hands back. So your chocolate just fell on the floor. We're gonna do the other hand. So, palm down, we're gonna pull those fingers down. Say stop, and pull the fingers back. Now flip it up so you can take the chocolate, but pull your fingers down so the chocolate goes on the ground. It's no fun, huh? All right. Let's go ahead and do the forearm lower body twist. We're doing these instead of elbow to knee today, guys. I really need some changing up in my series of 5, and this is what we're gonna do today, right? So we're gonna come onto our forearms, tuck your tail slightly, walk it out to a plank, and now leaving your upper body where it is and twisting and rotating from the belly button down, I'm going to open my hips to to the right, but bring my heels up to the left side. Come back through center and open my hips to the left, bring my heels to the right and back to center. And rotate, squeezing in the lower side oblique, and rotate, and rotate. Pull apart the mat with your forearms. We're gonna go to 6 because this is our magic series of 5 number today. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Now, come down onto your knees and press it back into child's pose one more time. Good. So, this is our final exercise on our hands, or on our wrists. We're going to be doing some knee push-ups. Again, if this is too much on your wrist, please use the weights, or feel free to hold a forearm plank if you'd rather. But I'm going to squeeze my legs together. My hips are over my knees, my shoulders are over my wrists. This move can be very difficult for some people. It is a tricep push-up. We are not moving our body like this to push it up. We are going to bend at the elbows, bringing them back towards our hips, bringing our forehead down to the mat, and then press it back up, squeezing under our arms the whole time, not in our neck. And bend and straighten. One more. Now, just like in bird dog, extend that right leg behind you, squeeze it up with your glutes, tuck your tail, leave your hips square, and 3 push-ups here. Now, bring your foot down, pull it back in, 3 push-ups with both knees. 1, inhale, exhale, 2, inhale, exhale, 3. Extend your left leg, squeeze it up. 3 push-ups. 1, 2, and 3. Bring that foot down, pull it back in. Final 3 push-ups on this other side. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Sit up. Go ahead and roll your wrists out from side to side. We're moving into ballet stretches, teaser, and then we have a few final stretches and we'll be done for class today. I'm going to come onto my back, extend my left leg up, hold it somewhere behind my left leg, not the knee, and pull my leg in towards my nose. Anchor that back hip on the ground. Really straighten through that leg. Really stretch out energy through the other leg. Take your right hand on the outside of your left ankle. Bring your left arm out to a T. Look over at that left hand. Pull that leg across your body. If your left hip floats up an inch or 2, no problem, but don't lift it. We really want to try to anchor it down so we can really get that full stretch on the outside of the leg in the anterior band. Now, bring that left hand in the left arm, or the left hand. Pull it out to the side. Bend the elbow down towards your hip to increase that stretch. I have my right hand out in a T because I think it feels nice and it gives me a little extra load on my body so I can give a little bit more pull, a little bit more stretch. Now bend the knee in, extend it down, bring the right leg up and in, anchor that back hip bone. Pull that leg not necessarily towards your nose, then you're pulling it more towards your eye, ear, underarm area. Stretch out that left leg nice and long so you can get a nice hip flexor stretch across the front as well while you're doing this. My leg's shaking on this side while I'm stretching it. Must have really needed it. So I'm going to take my left hand, place it on the outside of my right leg, and extend my right arm to a T. Go ahead and look over that right hand. Pull my leg across the midline. Really straighten that knee. Now bring my leg up and over into my right arm, right leg. Bring it out just a little bit. Don't bring it out so far that your hip floats off. And then bend your elbow down towards your hip to increase the stretch and pull it closer to your ear. Really stretch out on that left leg again to really open up that hip flexor. Now, bend your leg in. Bring it to the mat. We're going to move into teaser. So the first thing we're gonna do to teaser is start in tabletop. Actually, we're gonna start with our feet flat. We're gonna bring our hands over our head as long as we don't flare our ribs. If we're flaring our ribs, we're gonna float our hands up a little bit. Circle our hands down, around. Squeeze under the arms. We're gonna articulate up, 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 up. Find teaser and float your legs up to tabletop. Extend them if you're able to. Bend them back in. Place them on the mat. And then tuck your tail and roll back with control. Bring your arms back to the beginning position. Right here over your head where you can maintain. Back here if you're able to maintain. Right here if you're able to maintain. But none of this, okay guys? So roll your arms down and around. Articulate up, up, up. Tease your body. Tabletop legs. Tease your legs. Circle your arms 3 times in each direction. And then reverse. Don't move your body to do this. Tabletop legs, feet on the mat, tuck your tail, roll back. Bring your arms back to the beginning position. Wherever you are comfortable with in your teaser, if you're comfortable with your feet flat, if you're comfortable in tabletop, if you're comfortable extending, please continue to work from there. So we're gonna circle our arms, down and around, drawing our ribs to our hips, articulating up, 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 up. Tabletop legs, extend. If you're in tabletop or if you're extended, lower and lift an inch. If your feet are flat on the mat, go ahead and hold. Tabletop, hold here if your feet are lifted. Articulate back. This is a challenge teaser. Circle down and around. Whoa, challenge teaser. Ooh. And extend. Good job, guys. Tabletop the legs, bring them down, tuck your tail, roll back. If your legs were on the mat, you would just do one final teaser. Really good, guys. We're going to go ahead, inhale, exhale, articulate up, feet on the mat, open our legs to a wide diamond. Not a tight little butterfly, we're in a wide diamond, guys, okay? I'm gonna rotate just a little bit so you can see me a little better. With gentle fingertips, not a death grip, I'm gonna place my hands on my fingers on tops of my shins. I'm going to tuck my tail rounding over the barrel, looking at my thighs, and then I'm going to lift, as my trainer Kitty Rally say, I'm lifting my necklace where the wall and the ceiling meet. This is a gentle diamond cat-cow. It's one of my favorite ways to end mat class. One more, and then we're going to do a side bend. Bring your arms out to a T, place your left hand down, squeeze that elbow into your hip, reach for the wall and the ceiling, not for the ground. And lift, stretching on both sides, arms to a T, and reach for the opposite side. And lift, anchor that opposite side hip down so it's not floating up, and you're getting a nice stretch. On this final one, we're going to bring our arms to a T, bring our bicep by your ear, and if you'd like, you can look up at the ceiling, and back through center, opposite direction, look up at the ceiling. Good. Now, rotate towards the left. We're not yanking ourselves around, we're just pressing into the mat and into the top of our shin to lift up higher, higher, higher. Oh, float your arms the opposite direction. Just press down to lengthen your spine. Now pull yourself around more, right? And lift. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, please do not do this exercise and yank yourself around. It can be detrimental. Very bad for your body. Let's do one more to each side. Another thing that my trainer Katie Rowley's been doing lately that I have really lost track of is some nice breathing. So we're going to take our hands, thread them underneath our calves, place our hands flat on the mat, round over our legs, and take a couple nice, deep, relaxing, rejuvenating breaths here. We're thanking our bodies here for everything that it allowed us to do today. We're acknowledging the hard work we've done. Sorry, allergies. Now unthread your hands, articulate back up to sitting tall. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or need any modifications, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you.